the serene expanse of ancient Asia, nestled among the emerald embrace of towering mountains, lay a tranquil Buddhist temple. This secluded haven, known as the Temple of Whispering Winds, was a place of profound spiritual learning and meditation. The temple's walls, aged and wise, had stood for centuries, witnessing the ebb and flow of countless seasons. Among the monks who called this sacred place home was a young novice named Liang. With a heart earnest in its quest for enlightenment, Liang was diligent in his studies and devoted to his practices. Yet beneath his calm exterior, Liang battled a relentless storm of thoughts. Every decision, no matter how small, was a battleground of endless contemplation and analysis. This habit of overthinking clouded his mind, often leaving him paralyzed with indecision and fraught with anxiety. The abbot of the temple, Master Zhen, observed Liang's struggle with great concern. He saw in Liang a reflection of his younger self, a soul yearning for peace, yet ensnared by the chaos of its own making. Master Zhen knew that for Liang to find true peace and understanding, he would need to embark on a journey beyond the confines of the temple walls. One misty morning, as the first rays of sun pierced through the fog, Master Zhen called Liang to his quarters. The room was filled with the scent of incense and the soft sound of fluttering prayer flags outside. Master Zhen handed Liang an ancient scroll, its edges frayed with time. "Liang," Master Zhen began, his voice as calm as the still waters of a mountain lake, "you are to deliver this sacred scroll to the Temple of Eternal Dawn across the mountains. This journey will be your teacher, and the path will reveal lessons you must learn." Liang's eyes widened in a mix of surprise and apprehension. The Temple of Eternal Dawn was known to him only in stories, a place of great wisdom said to be perched at the very edge of the world. The journey would be arduous and fraught with unknowns. Yet, in Master Zhen's unwavering gaze, Liang found a well of courage he had not known existed within him. With the scroll carefully tucked in his satchel and a heart teeming with a mix of fear and excitement, Liang set out on his journey, stepping into the misty embrace of the mountain paths. Unbeknownst to him, the journey would not only test his physical endurance, but would also be a profound exploration into the depths of his own mind, challenging his habit of overthinking at every turn. As Liang ventured further away from the temple, the familiar landscapes gave way to untamed wilderness. The path twisted and turned, with each step leading him deeper into a world of ancient trees and echoing bird calls. The simplicity of the natural world around him stood in stark contrast to the complex mazes of his thoughts. As Liang ventured deeper into the mountains, the challenges of his journey began to unfold. The paths grew steeper and the forests denser. With each step, his mind raced with worries and what-ifs. He questioned his every decision. Was he taking the right path? Had he prepared enough? What dangers lay ahead? His thoughts spiraled, creating a labyrinth of doubts and fears. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and tranquil purple, Liang found himself at a crossroads. One path led through a dense, dark forest, and the other along a ridge with a sheer drop on one side. Paralyzed by indecision, Liang sat down, his mind racing through the potential perils of each route. As he sat there, lost in thought, an old hermit emerged from the forest path. The hermit, with a gentle smile and eyes twinkling with wisdom, approached Liang. Sensing the young monk's dilemma, he shared a simple yet profound insight. In life, as on this journey, not all paths are clear, and not all choices are without risk. But overthinking the path can be more treacherous than the path itself. Trust your instincts, young monk, and let the journey unfold as it will. The hermit's words struck a chord in Liang's heart. He realized that his fear of making the wrong choice was holding him back more than any choice itself. With newfound resolve, Liang chose the forest path, thanking the hermit with a bow. As he journeyed through the forest, Liang encountered various situations that required him to make decisions. A river that needed crossing, a choice of shelter during a storm, paths that diverged and twisted. With each decision, he remembered the hermit's advice. He started to rely more on his intuition, making choices with a sense of trust in himself and the journey. The constant overthinking began to subside, replaced by a newfound sense of presence and acceptance. One night, while resting under the canopy of stars, Liang reflected on his journey so far. He realized how the act of overthinking had clouded his mind and hindered his experiences. The beauty of the mountains, the songs of the birds, the rustling of leaves, all had been obscured by the noise of his incessant thoughts. Now, as he lay there, he felt a deeper connection with the world around him, a harmony that had always been there, just waiting for his mind to quieten and perceive it. Days turned into weeks, and Liang's journey across the mountains continued. With each step, his confidence grew, and the chains of overthinking that had once bound his mind began to loosen. The simplicity of his daily routine, walking, eating, sleeping, brought a newfound clarity. He learned to appreciate the moment, whether it was the warmth of the morning sun, the coolness of a stream, or the rustle of leaves in the wind. As Liang ascended higher into the mountains, he came upon a village perched on a cliffside. The villagers, accustomed to the harsh mountain conditions, lived a life of simplicity and harmony with nature. Liang spent a few days among them, observing their way of life. He noticed how they made decisions with a blend of intuition and wisdom, without succumbing to unnecessary worry or overanalysis. One elder, noticing Liang's deep interest, shared with him a piece of village lore. In our village, we believe that each decision carries its own spirit. When we overthink, we cloud that spirit with noise and blind ourselves to its true nature. We learn to listen, not only with our ears, but with our hearts. This concept resonated deeply with Liang. He realized that his overthinking was a barrier to hearing the spirit of his choices. Inspired by the villager's wisdom, he continued his journey with a lighter heart and a more centered mind. As Liang neared the Temple of Eternal Dawn, the final leg of his journey presented him with its toughest challenge yet. A narrow path wound along a precipice, with a sheer drop to one side and a sheer cliff to the other. Fear gripped him, and his old habit of overthinking surged back with a vengeance. He froze, unable to move forward or retreat. In this moment of panic, Liang closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He remembered the elder's words, the hermit's advice, and the lessons he had learned along his journey. He focused on the present, feeling the solid ground beneath his feet, the cool mountain air on his skin, and the steady beat of his heart. Gradually his fear subsided, replaced by a calm determination. He opened his eyes and began to walk the path, step by careful step, fully present in each moment. When Liang finally reached the Temple of Eternal Dawn, he was a changed man. The temple, a place of ancient knowledge and profound peace, welcomed him with open doors. As he handed over the sacred scroll, he realized that the true purpose of his journey was not just the delivery of the scroll, but the profound journey within himself. The Temple of Eternal Dawn radiated a sense of timeless wisdom, its halls filled with ancient scriptures and echoing with the soft chants of monks seemed to exist in a realm beyond the ordinary. Liang spent several days at the temple, absorbing its teachings and meditating on his journey. He learned ancient Zen practices that focused on mindfulness and living in the present. These practices helped him understand that overthinking is a habit of the mind that can be observed, understood, and ultimately transcended. He discovered the power of observing his thoughts without attachment, letting them pass like clouds in the sky. As Liang prepared to leave the Temple of Eternal Dawn, the head monk imparted to him one final piece of wisdom. Remember, the journey never truly ends. Each step is the journey, and each moment is a new opportunity to practice what you have learned. With this wisdom etched in his heart, Liang embarked on the journey back to the Temple of Whispering Winds. The journey home was different. The landscapes that had once seemed daunting were now familiar friends. His steps were lighter, his mind clearer. The habit of overthinking, while not entirely gone, had lost much of its power over him. Upon his return, Master Zhen and the other monks noticed a profound change in Liang. He moved with a quiet confidence, and his eyes reflected a deep inner peace. Liang shared the lessons of his journey with his fellow monks, teaching them the practices and insights he had gained. The most significant change was in his approach to decision-making. Liang now made decisions with a balance of thoughtfulness and intuition. He accepted that uncertainty was a part of life, and that overthinking was often an attempt to control the uncontrollable. Years passed, and Liang became a respected teacher at the temple, known for his wisdom and his ability to guide others through the maze of their own thoughts. The story of his journey became a beloved tale at the Temple of Whispering Winds, a reminder to all that the path to inner peace often lies in letting go of the need to overthink and embracing the simplicity of the present moment.